The American Revolution wasn't just fought on battlefields with soldiers and muskets. In the shadows, a secret war was raging. A war of secrets, spies, and daring betrayals that truly shaped the outcome. Are you ready to uncover the hidden history that your textbooks probably left out? Let's dive in. The story we all know is one of heroic patriots fighting for independence against the mighty British Empire. But what if I told you that without a network of clandestine operators, coded messages, and sheer cunning, the revolution might have failed before it even truly began? The fight for freedom was as much a battle of wits as it was a battle of wills. In the next few minutes, we're going to pull back the curtain on the spies who risked everything, the traitors who almost brought it all crashing down, and the secret tactics that gave the underdog Continental Army a fighting chance. This is the story of how whispers and secrets built a nation. Let's start with one of the most effective intelligence operations in American history, the Culper Spy Ring. Organized by George Washington himself, this wasn't some amateur club. This was a sophisticated network of ordinary citizens, farmers, merchants, and even a cafe owner, operating right under the noses of the British in New York City. They were Washington's eyes and ears. They used invisible ink, created by dissolving a special chemical in water, to write messages between the lines of seemingly ordinary letters. They developed a complex system of codes, where numbers represented common words, people, and places. For instance, 711 was George Washington. These spies would leave secret messages in hidden drop boxes, like a hole in a tree or underneath a specific rock in a pasture. One agent, Abraham Woodhull, would hang laundry on his clothesline in a specific pattern to signal to another agent, Caleb Brewster, who was watching from a boat, whether he had intelligence to pass along. It was this network that uncovered a British plan to ambush the newly arrived French fleet, a discovery that saved the crucial French-American alliance and potentially the entire war effort. Their information was a lifeline, allowing Washington to anticipate British movements and avoid catastrophic defeats. Of course, where there are spies, there is also the risk of betrayal. And no betrayal in American history is more infamous than that of Benedict Arnold. Before he became a traitor, Arnold was one of the Continental Army's most brilliant and fearless generals. He was a hero at battles like Saratoga. But he felt slighted, passed over for promotions, and deeply in debt. His pride was wounded, and his loyalty began to waver. Fueled by resentment and influenced by his loyalist wife, Arnold began secret correspondence with British Major John Andre. The plan they hatched was devastating. Arnold, who had been given command of the crucial fortress at West Point, would surrender it to the British. West Point controlled the Hudson River, and its loss would have split the colonies in two, likely delivering a fatal blow to the Patriot cause. The plot was only discovered by a stroke of luck when Andre was captured by American militiamen. They found the incriminating papers hidden in his boot. Arnold, hearing of Andre's capture, fled to a British warship just hours before Washington arrived at West Point. The foiling of this plot was a moment of profound relief. It preserved a strategic fortress and exposed the fragility of loyalty, serving as a stark reminder of what was at stake. But the secrets didn't stop with spies and traitors. The Patriots, often outnumbered and outgunned, had to get creative. They became masters of deception and unconventional warfare. They'd use Quaker guns, large logs painted black to look like cannons from a distance, to make their fortifications seem far more formidable than they actually were. This psychological trick could deter a British attack without a single shot being fired. They perfected the art of the ambush, using their knowledge of the local terrain to strike, and then melt back into the forests, a tactic that frustrated the rigid line-based formations of the British Army. Secret supply lines, managed by a network of sympathizers, moved crucial food, ammunition, and medicine through enemy-controlled territory, keeping the Continental Army alive during the harshest winters, like the one at Valley Forge. These weren't just clever tricks, they were essential survival strategies. They were the innovations of a desperate army fighting for its life, turning their perceived weaknesses into strengths and constantly keeping the British off balance. Beyond these major stories, there are countless other hidden narratives. The British had their own extensive spy networks, with Loyalists feeding them information from inside Patriot communities, making trust a rare commodity. There were unsung heroes we rarely hear about, like James Armistead Lafayette, an enslaved African American who posed as a runaway to join the British forces. He became a double agent, feeding the British false information while sending crucial intelligence about their troop movements to the Patriots. His reports were vital to the decisive American victory at Yorktown. These lesser-known stories reveal a conflict that was far more complex and personal than a simple story of two armies clashing. It was a civil war, neighbor against neighbor, where allegiances were tested daily. Ultimately, this secret war of intelligence, deception, and courage was indispensable. The information from the Culper Ring allowed Washington to make strategic decisions that saved his army. Thwarting Benedict Arnold's treason prevented a military collapse, and the innovative guerrilla-style tactics allowed a smaller, less equipped force to endure and eventually triumph against a global superpower. These secrets didn't just help win battles, they ensured the very survival of the revolutionary idea that a nation could govern itself. They are woven into the very fabric of America's founding. The revolution wasn't just about muskets and grand battles. It was a war of secrets, strategy, and incredible courage in the shadows. The stories we've shared today are just the tip of the iceberg. If you find this kind of hidden history fascinating, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more stories that shaped our world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.